Yo, Billy Sorrell, and our good friend Warren Ballentine. I mean, there's so many titles that we could put on you. Friend to the show, political commentator, the true fighter, the one who gets it done. And we got to talk about all these different things that are happening right now. There are acts that have not been seen in over 200 years, like the Insurrection Act of 1807, which Trump decided to pull out of his pocket yesterday and enforce. What does this mean to us as American people?
Well, let me say this. Thank you for letting me be on the Morning Hustle today. I love the show because you guys are so important to getting the information out. But this act that the president is trying to use can only be used if the governors agree to use it. He doesn't have the authority to say, I'm bringing the military in, unless the governors of each state say, yes, we want the military. So what's going to happen here is this. You're going to have governors who are Democratic say, we don't need your help. And then he's going to come out and say they're un-American. You're going to have these militias rising up in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, and the South, talking about they're doing the president's work. And we may end up with a damn civil war or a race war because of what this president is doing. He's not leading. He's not taking control. And look, I'm not going to talk bad about the president. And the reason I'm not going to talk bad about him because that is a rotating position. The people who stay in office forever are the Supreme Court justices, the senators, the Congress members who keep getting elected. So the president really 4 to 8 years, look, he'll be gone either in November or 4 years after that. We need to look at this from a bigger perspective and a bigger thing. And speaking of November, I want Biden to pick a black woman for the vice president, but I swear to God, I wish I could put Como on this ticket somewhere, whether he's running for president or something, because he's running laps around everybody. I'm just saying.
Yes, he is.
I agree.
Hey, Warren, can we talk a little bit about these charges in George Floyd's murder? Because a lot of people, when we first heard third-degree murder, the one thing I kept saying, Trina, was like, what is third-degree murder, and is this a strong enough charge? You have the family also calling for first-degree murder charges. So can we speak to some of the charges, and where the other 3 officers in all of this? Why they haven't been charged?
Look, I love Ben Crump. That's my guy. But for everybody out there who's looking at Lee Merritt and Ben Crump, understand that they have nothing to do with the criminal part of this. They only have the civil part of it. So when you hear them talking about it should be first-degree murder, look, I love them, but they're wrong. And let me tell you why they're wrong. Okay. They're wrong because in order to have first-degree murder, you have to prove that somebody premeditated what they were going to do. You're not going to be able to prove that here. Now, in Minnesota, everybody's talking about, well, why not second-degree murder? Second-degree murder only is 10 years max in Minnesota. Third degree is 25 years max. So this charge is actually charged the right way with third degree and manslaughter. And let me tell you why it's charged the right way, not just because of the years, because they don't have to prove that he intentionally killed George Floyd. All they have to prove is that he did something that a normal person in that job would not do. And the best way I can explain it is if you're driving on a road that's 35 miles an hour and you're driving 100 miles an hour and you hit somebody and they die, you didn't mean to kill him. You was just in a rush where you were going. But because you did something a normal person wouldn't do, you would be charged with third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. This is why if years ago I told people George Zimmerman was going to get off because he was overcharged with first-degree murder, third-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, I will bet my life this man does a minimum of 15 to 25 years. Now, the problem, though, is this. In Minnesota, you can get divorced today, which means you don't have to wait 60 days. You ain't got to wait a year. You ain't got to do none of that. So the wife who filed for divorce will be able to get his pension, the house, Social Security, retirement, all that. This is a tactical move. She's not divorcing him because he's a killer. She's divorcing him so she can keep the money. That's what this is about.
Wow. So real quick question, with everything that's going on with the protests, we are seeing a little bit of forward movement as far as people getting charges and whatnot. But what's next? What's the next move that needs to happen to really make all these, which seem uncoordinated efforts unify as one to get us to a common goal? Because now it's going from a place of organization to a place of chaos.
Well, look, we can march to our feet till we get holes in our shoes. We can pray till we get blood on our knees. But until we change the laws, we're going to be right back here next year. That's just real talk. I mean, think about this. We've been dealing with video evidence of the cops doing us wrong since Rodney King got his ass whooped in 1991. That's how long we've been dealing with this. We've been dealing with this for 29 years. So if you really want to change this, right, what you have to do is this. One, if a cop kills somebody and they're unarmed, they lose their pension, they lose their retirement, they lose everything immediately, and they're criminally charged and go to jail. Secondly, you can't say you don't have money to help anymore, because you passed this big stimulus bill, then came back with another $3 trillion in Congress that the Senate didn't approve. Put that money in our communities. How about that? How about give us better education, give us economic development? And thirdly, you let all these nonviolent felons out of jail because of COVID. How about you erase their records one time and one time only so they can get government jobs? So Pookie, who got arrested at 19 selling weed, can now go get a government job at 35 to take care of his family and don't have to sell drugs because he can't make enough money to take care of them. If you do that, that changes the poverty, that changes the crime, that changes everything. And let me say this, everybody who thinks this is just a black or white thing, systematically, you're wrong. And let me explain to you why. Because from 1998 to 2020, 218 black people have been killed by the police who have been unarmed in this country. In that same period of time, 418 white people have been killed too. They're just not put on television because racism sells. So this is a systematic problem. If you are poor in this country, these police officers are treating you like you a slave, whether you black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever. So we all got to come together. And for white people out there, if you are not speaking up, you are the problem. You are the problem. You are
Warren
the problem.
Ballentine, can I ask you, one of the pushes I'm starting to see from congressmen and women, and even the Supreme Court looks like they may take a look at this, is eliminating the Qualified Immunity Act. And this is all about holding officers accountable. And it looks like essentially police are immune from liability unless the person whose rights they violated can show that there's a previous case in the same jurisdiction involving the exact same facts in which a court deemed the actions to be a constitutional violation. Can you speak to the possibility of legislation possibly being changed out of all of what's happening right now?
Well, I love that, because this is what needs to happen. Because if you remove this, because see what it basically is, it gives the cops a pass to kill us, because they're immune from prosecution. They're immune from civil liability. If you remove this element, this goes to the deterrent. Like I was talking about them losing their pension. This will make cops think twice, because they will understand if they do this, and they do it the way that this man did to George Floyd, the way that the cops did in New York to Eric Gardner, to what the cops did in Cleveland to Mara Rice, if they keep doing this, see, this ain't new. This has always been here. The legal system has always been set up to literally persecute the poor. I mean, think about Gennaro Wilson in Atlanta. Because he had sex with a girl who wanted to have sex with him, and because he was 18 and she was 16, they gave this boy a criminal record, and thank God it got fixed. But we have to understand that this whole legal system is not been. Lady Justice is supposed to be blind, but Lady Justice has always got an eye on us. And that's one of my law professors told me. A white man told me this when I was in law school back in 1998. So we have to, as a people, come together. We have to understand that removing this immunity helps the cops have a deterrent, and we have to understand that we got to have change in our laws in order to make it better for all of us.
All right, yo, Warren Ballentine, thank you so much for the energy and always the information that you give to us. If people want to follow you on social media, where do they go?
Truth Fighter or Laverdad on Twitter. Gotta stay true to my black and Puerto Rican roots, and then also also on Instagram, it's just Truth Fighter, man. I love the show. I love what y'all doing. Keep putting this information out here, because it's so important. I'm gonna be doing CNN later this week, and I'm doing a big panel about legal justice in this country. That's going to be broadcast all over the country this week as well. Well, not this week, next week, I'm sorry. But to everybody out there, look, if you are God, if you believe in God, this ain't black, this ain't white, this is humanitarian. Be a human being. Look out for your brothers and sisters. And to all my people in Atlanta, Chicago, D.C., Raleigh, North Carolina, West, I call home. If you going to riot for a purpose. Don't just be tearing up stuff to be tearing up stuff.
There it is, man. Continue to shine your light on the world. Thank you so much. One time for Warren Ballentine, y'all.
We are the Morning Hustle.